Every now and then, an opportunity presents itself in the stock market. And with all the movement that just occurred this past week, I decided to go all in on one particular stock. Now, if you've watched any of my previous videos, then you know that I typically talk about investing in index funds and ETFs. Although I do allocate a small portion of each of my investment portfolios towards individual stocks. Well, in today's video, I'm going to be discussing the one stock position that I have decided to go all in on for the remainder of 2024. And then I'm also going to be discussing the reasons that I have selected this position to go all in on. Now, before we get started, I do want to mention that the stock that I'm going to be talking about in today's video is a position that I've decided to go all in on. And if you decide to invest in it too, just make sure that you do your own due diligence to ensure that it fits your overall investment strategy. Now, the stock that I've decided to go all in on for at least the rest of this year is NVIDIA. And with the rise of services such as ChatGPT, AI is here to stay. And in fact, many companies are starting to invest billions of dollars in research and development to develop AI that they could utilize internally at their own organization. As of today, NVIDIA sits at the top of their industry, and they recently surpassed Microsoft and Apple and now have the largest market cap in the stock market. That, coupled with the rise of services such as ChatGPT, that you know that AI is here to stay. So I'm going to be giving you my top 3 reasons of why I've decided to go all in on NVIDIA. And then I'll also be providing an alternative option for people that would like to invest in AI, but they would still prefer to invest in index funds and ETFs. The first reason that I've decided to go all in on this position is earlier this year, the US government passed the US CHIP Act, which allocated $39 billion in tax benefits for companies that build facilities that manufacture chips within the US. So what that tells me is that the United States has a big stake in being able to have computer chips developed here in the United States for usage in all of our industries across the country. And as you may know, countries as well as individual specific companies are lining up to purchase computer chips to use in the manufacturing of their actual products. So not only are you investing in a company that's sitting in the #1 position within their particular sector, you're also investing in a company that is being heavily incentivized by the United States government to build manufacturing facilities in the United States. And one additional incentive that was included in the CHIP Act that passed earlier this year was an additional $11 billion that is going to be allocated to companies that invest heavily in semiconductor R&D. And the second reason I'm going all in is because of the position that NVIDIA enjoys within the gaming industry. So we know companies like Microsoft and computer gaming depend heavily on semiconductor chips. And as that sector continues to evolve and grow, the need for those chips will continue to grow as well. Now, in the future, companies such as Microsoft may decide to invest in developing their own computer chips for their gaming sector as well as their business sector. But as of today, they heavily rely on NVIDIA's technology. And to be quite honest with you, I don't see that changing within the next 3 to 5 years. Now, of course, that's just speculation on my part. But as I stated earlier, I'm going all in on this position. And my goal is to be able to cash out within the next 5 to 10 years. In addition to NVIDIA having a large market share in the gaming industry, they also have a large market share in the automobile industry with companies such as Mercedes-Benz, Jaguar, Land Rover, and Lucid all utilizing NVIDIA's chips in their vehicles. And with more and more technology being added to these vehicles every single year, I don't see this slowing down. And in fact, a lot of automobile companies are investing heavily in autonomous driving, which also require computer chips to operate. So if you ask me, NVIDIA is already well positioned in both of these industries. And the third reason that I'm going all in on NVIDIA is there are so many companies out there that are now starting to invest in AI. So you have companies like Amazon, Google, I previously mentioned Microsoft. they are all investing in AI, and they have billions and billions of dollars that are being allocated to the research and development of this technology within their organizations. And this is an area where I think NVIDIA still has a tremendous amount of opportunity to gain some market share. So those are my top 3 reasons of why I'm going all in on that position. Now, if you'd like to invest in AI, but you prefer to invest in an index fund or an ETF, then I would suggest that you take a look at SMH. Investing in SMH will give you broad exposure of the semiconductor industry. In that particular index fund, not only invest in NVIDIA, it also invests in companies such as Intel and Taiwan Semiconductor. So that is absolutely a route that you can take if you want to invest in the semiconductor space, but you'd like to be able to have a little bit more exposure to the companies in the sector as opposed to going all in on one particular company. And lastly, if you've been following the market this week, then you know that we saw that NVIDIA actually fell to roughly $91, which I think for this particular company is underpriced. And as of today, the stock was trading roughly around $105 a share, which I also think is still a very good price point to get into this position. So during this current market pullback, all the way through the end of the year, I'm going all in on this particular company. I'm betting that I'm going to be in a position to where I'm going to be able to 10x to 20x my money just by deciding to go all in.